Richmond, Virginia, not as busy tonight as in normal nights outside of the Siegel Center due to the severe water shortage in our area. And inside, very quiet. No fans allowed here inside the stew to see the battle of the Rams, the Fordham Rams and the VCU Rams. So join us tonight here on Bassett and on ESPN Plus as we get ready for A10 action. I'm Sean Robinson. Great to be back with Chris Nockey. This is normally a decisive home court advantage for VCU, but with no fans tonight because of the water shortage, how much of an impact will that be for VCU?
Well, certainly an advantage for Fordham. Coming in here as a visiting team, you don't have to deal with a raucous crowd, but VCU's coming off their best win of the season, a 20-point win at Loyola Chicago. You have to ride the wave. You have to capture that, and it has to come from somebody. Maybe that bench is going to be hooping and hollering here tonight.
On the flip side, Fordham comes in off the heels of a 2-game losing streak, both at home and in conference play. But Jackie Johnson III, our player to watch for Fordham, has lit it up for the Fordham Rams this year.
Yeah, he is an electric lefty, transfer from UNLV, scores easy and often, leading scorer in the league in conference play. He's a load for a 5'11" point guard. He gets it done, and he's got the blue light. He shoots from anywhere. He's got a variety of skills as well.
And for VCU, off the heels of his best game of the year, Philip Russell.
He's averaging 25.5 points in conference play, getting it done 11 of 20 from the three-point line. I mean, he's doing everything. It's hard to imagine where this team would be without Philip Russell right now.
Game high 25 in that win against Loyola on Saturday. And now our Carmack's keys to the game. Carmack's home with a 30-day money-back guarantee, and we start with Fordham.
Yeah, Fordham's turning the ball over too much coming into this game. 13.5 turnovers per game, which is problematic against a team that presses as much as VCU. They also have to find easy points. They're stuck in the 60s right now in terms of conference play, getting points. They got to find them somewhere.
And for VCU?
Yeah, they got to ride the wave of momentum they created with that great win at Loyola. The other thing is they want this game in the 80s. They want to force tempo, get play as much court end-to-end as you possibly can, and force Fordham to match you there.
VCU looking to go 8-0 at home this season. The Fordham Rams, they hope to get their first win on the road this season. The starting lineups and the opening tip coming up from the Siegel Center right after this on Bassett and on ESPN Plus. Hope you get rid of that unwanted property just as fast as the Rams want to get rid of Fordham. Call the Red Door guys at 804-373-7267. Here are the starting lineups. They go with a 3-guard alignment with Jaffe Medora, Zach Riley, Jackie Johnson, Ramad Dean, and Abdu Tambila. And for VCU, their starting lineup is brought to you by the VCU Black and Gold MasterCard from Virginia Credit Union. Phil Russell along with Jack Clark, Luke Bamboyer making his 5th start this season, Max Shoga, and Joe Mamacil. An eerie Siegel Center, to say the least, here tonight. Bamboyer and Tambila will jump it up at center circle as Jeff Clark will toss it up, and we're moments away. And the toss controlled by VCU circa COVID 2021.
Right? It feels like an inter-squad scrimmage in here. Friends and family, right?
But you get to watch.
Even. Yeah.
VCU coming off their win against Loyola of Chicago. Bamboyer inside loses it out of bounds, and Fordham forces their first turnover.
Well, I like the growth of Luke over the last couple of weeks. Bamboyer, he's come a long, long way. He's got to turn and look to take that to the basket. His man had clearly left him. He had an easy drive to the hoop.
He has become one of the nation's leading shot blockers, the freshman from out of London, England.
So quick off his feet, and on the second jump, equally so on the second jump.
This is Jaffe Medora handling the rock against Max Shoga. Jackie Johnson III, our player to watch, guarded by Phil Russell. He'll pull up from mid-range and hits the game's first shot.
Well, he's a lefty. He wants to go left, too. I think you got to send him back the other way to his right.
Team's leading scorer. He leads the A-10 in scoring this season at just over 18 points tonight.
This would be a good matchup there, he against Russell.
See if he gets under Johnson's skin. He has been known to do that.
I can promise you he will.
Phil Russell already involved on that one and draws the foul on Tambila. The grad transfer from Penn State by way of Cameroon picks up his first foul. Yeah, due to the water shortage here in the Richmond area, fans are not allowed to be in here tonight.
An advantage Fordham there. This is traditionally a very hard place to play. It's a tough matchup as it is.
VCU coming in 7-0 at home this season. They have scored at least 82.5 points in each home game this year. Missed 3 by Russell. Another chance for VCU. Shoga pulls up, and it's his first shot.
Oh, this man disappeared on him. Easy 12-footer for Max.
Used to say the Rams, but we gotta be careful because both teams are the Rams. There's Fordham and VCU, and Medore hounded by Phil Russell. Medore averaging just over 10 points a game this season. Johnson from straight away, and Bamboye the rebound.
Look at VCU, just a jailbreak, pushing on every possession here.
Phil Russell, offensive rebound by Joe Bamasil, and he gets his first 2.
He just overpowers opposing guards. In that particular case, it happened to be Johnson.
Bamasil averaging nearly 5.5 boards a night this year. And gives VCU their first lead.
Long arms, you know, he should be a really good offensive rebounder.
Good play by Clark, forces a turnover. Here's Shoga. Clark to Bamasil inside. Clark, another chance for VCU. Russell for 3. And his back tap to Shoga as he brings it in.
A lot of energy on that VCU bench. You know, you have to recognize there are no fans here. They're bringing it.
They've got to provide their own energy here tonight. Shot clock is under 10 for Shoga. A spin to the baseline and hits another baseline jumper.
Wow. Tough shot. Right over Riley. Again, the big guards VCU have such an advantage in terms of getting their own shots. It's like you've got 4 guys out there who can create their own.
Bamasil picks up his first foul. As we go back and look at that nice jumper, the turnaround by Max Shoga.
He can beat you going either way, over the right shoulder, over the left shoulder. He bullies opposing guards.
And he's got the size advantage on Zach Riley, who's only 6'5". They got Shoga listed at 6'5", but he's got him about a couple of inches on that in that matchup.
Yeah, and he's also thick. Max is a strong kid.
Zeb Jackson sees his first action here tonight. Wearing number 2, coming off a big performance against Loyola last Saturday. He scored all 11 of his points in the second half. Medore for 3, and Clark with another rebound. He's coming off a double-double against the Ramblers on Saturday.
Advantage Jackson here. There you go.
There's the mismatch. Nice pass inside to Furman, and he was hacked by a couple of Fordham Rams.
Well, you saw Zeb Jackson just matching up, eyeing Tambila. He knew he wanted to take it on. Look at that as a great cross. Creates an opportunity for Furman.
They got dinged with the foul on Fordham, his first. And that was something that Zeb was talking to us in preseason. He wanted to be more downhill. He didn't want to settle on the 3-point shots. He wanted to go inside more this year.
And even with that, you mentioned what he did against Loyola. You know, Sean, his 3-pointers in the second half broke that game open.
Yes, it did.
I mean, it really, they were springboard jumpers is what they were, and the team followed his lead.
Another offensive rebound for Bamasil, but a turnover by VCU. Medore leaves it to Tripp, who just checked in. Jameer Tripp, wearing number 3. The double came by Furman. And now Medore has it. Great defense by VCU on this trip. And Tambila throws it in the backcourt.
You called it. That is great team defense. That possession, 28 seconds of team defense leads to that backcourt violation. And it's everybody. It's not just one guy. Zeb had the ball. Zeb Jackson picked up the ball. But, man, the rotations were flawless. The weak side help, perfect.
And that was something that Coach Odom told you earlier this week, the fact that the defense, especially in that second half against Loyola, he'd like to see more of that.
That's who we want to be, is what the coach said.
15:50 to go here in this first half, and VCU on a 7-0 run after Fordham led 2-0. Jack Clark misses on the 3. Joshua Rivera, wearing number 5, in for Fordham, grab the board. Also in is Matt Zona, the transfer from Notre Dame. The double comes. Zona has it inside and lays it in.
Well, he got open because he set 2 great screens, and the better screen you set, the more likely you are to be open.
4-year player at Notre Dame before transferring to Fordham. And Jackson loses it in front of Fordham's bench, and it's out of bounds to Fordham, and that brings us to our first media timeout with 15-13 left in the opening stanza. VCU with a 7-4 lead here on Masson and on ESPN+. There's a good shot of head coach Keith Ergo in his 3rd season as head coach of Fordham. You see that record against VCU in his career against the home Rams. They're 0-3 all the time with him at the helm at Fordham.
He's won 38 games in a year and a half. He did a good job last year, 25 wins, and they got a ways to go this year, you know, but he's a fighter, you know, and he's got his guys playing hard. If you're Ryan Odom right now, you love the effort in the first 4 minutes, but the execution's got to get better. You have 3 turnovers against a team that hasn't picked you up full court at all, and 3 turnovers in that situation in 4 minutes is not what you're looking for at hhome.
They've also attacked the glass.
Yeah.
In the opening 5 minutes.
5 offensive rebounds for VCU.
7-1 on that total rebounding advantage for VCU as Johnson being harassed by Jackson. They really played great defense so far against Fordham. The double on the baseline comes with 5 to shoot. Zona for 3. And Clark another rebound. That's 4 so far for the grad transfer.
8-1 on the glass now, VCU's way.
A big reason why they were able to pull away from Loyola on Saturday. Shoga has it with nearly 10 to shoot. Shoga deep in the paint, doesn't get it to go. Furman another offensive rebound for VCU, and we've got a tie up in the arrow favors Fordham.
A lot of contact in there. Officials letting them go. Reffing it like it's an inter-squad scrimmage as well.
Jeff Clark, Olandis Poole, and Mark Schnurr, the 3 officials.
Because the ball been around a little bit.
Yeah. And now the players have got to adjust to the style of officiating that they will get here so far.
Yeah, and I think players just play. For the most part, they're not worried about the lack of attendance. Obviously, you want more fans in here than we have. But these guys are out there. They know their roles. They know what they're supposed to do.
Here's Johnson. Not afraid to shoot. Offensive rebound for Fordham. Mador has it and hits the 3. A 32% shooter from distance. His 16th made 3 on the season.
They fought back, 5-0 run here. Looked like they were going to get run out of the building early on. VCU never really capitalized on that 7-2 start.
And another turnover by the Rams of VCU. Here's Mador. Guarded by Jennings inside. And they're going to get branded with the foul.
Yeah, easy whistle right there.
As you mentioned, a 5-0 run for Fordham after they were trailing 7-2. They scored the game's first basket, and after that, VCU got on a 7-0 run, and back comes Fordham with a chance to retake the lead at the line.
Yeah, well, VCU, for the most part, got their points off of offensive rebounds, so all second-chance points.
Mador at the stripe, 83% shooter this season.
And Fordham's done a good job in half-court defense. The job for Fordham is to finish the play defensively and get that rebound. Keep VCU off the glass. Those big guards have been a problem for Fordham to keep out of the paint.
You mentioned the rebounding. 6 offensive rebounds for VCU. They've gotten 6 second-chance points off of those. And 2 made free throws by Mador. Team's second leading scorer at just over 10 points a game. Russell and Johnson bang. And they're going to get Johnson, the senior from out of Wichita, the transfer from UNLV, gets called for the foul.
It's a savvy play. Phil Russell's played a lot of college basketball, and If there's anybody you want to saddle with a couple of fouls on that Fordham team, obviously that's the guy, Johnson.
I mean, first in scoring, 8th in steals, first in made field goals and attempts in the conference this year. Fordham with a 9-7 lead, and Russell just drew another foul, this one on Rivera.
There has to be a little better movement off the ball. You've got Max Shulga, you've got Russell out there. The other three guys have to be more active offensively. That's Bell, Furman, Brandon Jennings as well. You can't just stand and watch those two guys.
Furman coming off of the pick and roll, guarded by Zona. And Fordham playing good defense right now. Jennings changed his mind, and a turnover by VCU.
Turnovers are just killing VCU right now.
The 6th in this first half.
Not even get shots up, really.
Fordham with a 2-point lead. Rivera guarded by Shulga. Both teams, you do not see a lot of zone from either one of these programs. Rivera pulls up from the free throw line. Russell the long rebound. Shulga attacking the rim. Furman a second chance for VCU. Jennings for 3. And Johnson the board. And Coach Ergo instructing his bench to bring that energy as well.
Well, they've got the tempo going just the way they want it right now.
Zona loses it out of bounds after a good play by Furman inside and a turnover by Fordham.
Yeah, good hustle by Russell getting over there after that loose ball. Bama Seal back in, Jennings out for VCU. Zona is out now. He did a pretty good job out there. He was part of that Fordham crew that steadied this game for VCU, or for Fordham, excuse me.
VCU has not scored in nearly 4.5 minutes and have turned it over 5 times in that stretch. Russell off of the Bamboye pick and doesn't get the bounce. Bamboye an offensive rebound. It's interesting to hear the chatter now on the floor, as you can hear it more clearly with no fans in attendance. Bamboye off the window. And a rebound picked up by Jameer Tripp.
Fordham is fighting underneath the basket right now, doing a really good job defensively.
Johnson a long 3. Timbila tips it out of bounds. And that brings us to a timeout. You may have seen Coach Ergo was saying you got to clear, you got to grab it.
Yep, had an opportunity there.
But right now it's Fordham on a 7-0 run to lead VCU by 2 on Masson and on ESPN+. Fordham with a 9-7 lead with 11:27 to go in the first half in the midst of a 7-0 run. Sean Robertson along with Chris Knocking, our entire Rams Unlimited crew. And Chris, we mentioned at the top of the broadcast, both teams have to create their own energy. No fans in attendance tonight due to the water shortage here in the Richmond area. And right now it seems like Fordham has gotten back into it on the defensive end and created that energy.
Well, they've had some help because the VCU Rams have been co-conspirators here. They had 6 turnovers, 3 of 13 from the field. Just not a very good offensive start for VCU. They were pretty good out of the gates out of the first 3 or 4 minutes, but man, they have hit a wall here of late. A lot of these errors, these turnovers, unforced errors.
Russell's on the floor with Shulga, Bamboye, Clark, and Bama Seal as Max Shulga hits the Rams' first 3 of the game. They were 0 of 5 so far before that make by Shulga.
Flex offense there with a little down screen for Max and a steal. You want to force tempo here if you're Russell with the ball. Attack the basket.
They look inside to Bamboye. And a good play there by Tripp, and he's got numbers 2-on-1. That's Rivera inside and draws contact. As VCU bench says no, but they're going to get the foul on Jack Clark.
And on the offensive end, Russell had such an opportunity then. They're just trying to make a little bit too fine a pass to Bamboye. As far as Luke has come, he's not quite there offensively, and that's a tough play for him to make, the catch and finish. You make sure you get that ball hit to the corner or move to the opposite side of the floor.
Joshua Rivera, the transfer from Lafayette, at the line, hits on the first free throw. A 41% shooter this year. He had a good career at Lafayette. He was a Patriot League all-freshman selection back in the 22-23 season.
Yeah, that's an athlete right there. You don't see many athletes like that in the Patriot League at all.
And hits on both. Does not look like a 41% shooter from the line. That year he led. He was second in scoring and rebounding for Lafayette. And Fordham's back in front by 1. Russell misses on the 3. Good play by Sugar to create another chance for VCU. And Russell again from downtown and connects.
A great play by Max, keeping his head on the swivel there defensively.
That was Russell's first made 3. It's 12-11 VCU. A miss inside by Tripp. And Tripp compounds it with a foul.
Sure did. Sure did. Max Schulger stayed on that play, snuck behind Johnson, and then created an opportunity for Russell, who kept moving.
That's usually the best chance to at least attempt the 3.
Yeah, and Phil Russell's like a good cornerback. You got to forget that last play. There are hundreds of plays in the game, and not all of them are going to be stellar. You got to be able to wipe the slate clean.
Well, Russell has been almost automatic in the last 2 games, averaging 25.5 points and shooting over 55% from 3. Bamboye inside with the finish.
Well done. Max Schulger around the high screen, and Bamboye's man went to double Max. Hard double off of that high pick and roll.
Timbila inside against Bamboye. Nice move with the jump hook.
Great touch.
He was a preseason all A-10 defensive selection. Showed the offensive game with that jump hook. Here's Deb Jackson for 3. The rebound to Johnson. Thought he had numbers, he will wait for help. Tripp left open for 3. Comes up short, and the rebound to Bamboye. VCU is +9 on the glass so far.
Great cut by Clark, but Luke Bamboye telegraphed that pass.
Johnson tried to go with the lob, and it hit the back of the rim. A little helter-skelter so far in the last minute and some change.
I think that plays to VCU's advantage. They want to get up and down. They want this to be a frenetic pace.
Here's Jackson, pulls up and hits over Zach Riley.
This is a lightning first step going to the basket, and it's going right or left. He's crafty, long, and athletic.
Jackson with his first 2. Almost a steal by Shoga at midcourt. And they're going to get Clark again with his second.
That's a silly reach, though, by Max Schulger at half court. He had no chance to get that steal. And he put the rest of his defenders in a predicament. It ended up being a 5-on-3 opportunity. Probably a good foul by Clark to take on Johnson.
Fats Billups will see his first action tonight. The area product from Verona High School, wearing number 5. And Furman is back in to replace Bamboye. So it's Clark and also Furman up front for the Rams. Medore tried to create, leaves it for Tripp, and he's called for steps.
Good defense by Fats in there. And you look at Billups' role on this team, Sean, and fairly or unfairly, he, more than probably anybody on this team, he has to take advantage of the minutes he gets, right? Because there is a logjam of really good players in the VCU backcourt. His windows are limited, and again, it's not always fair, but he's got to produce in the minutes he's got.
Coach Odom said that a couple of weeks ago. He's got to take advantage of the time that he gets on both ends of the floor. Here's Bell left open for three. Furman had it and lost it to Johnson.
I would say the same to a lesser degree applies to Michael Bell as well.
Yep.
You know,
Johnson from downtown.
Again, you allow him to go left. That's the way he wants to go.
And this is an interesting matchup, a matchup of lefties. Zeb is a predominantly left-handed shooter. Going up against Johnson, another lefty. And Zeb will shoot for three. And the rebound taken away by Tripp, and Zeb gets called for the foul.
Sloppy.
Timeout on the floor, 7:07 to go in the first half. And we're deadlocked at 16 on Masson and on ESPN+. Got a change in the score. It's actually VCU leading 17-16. They did, in fact, credited Phil Russell with a three, as it was. But the scoreboard had it 16 all, and there's Phil Russell. Last two games have been special for that grad transfer from out of UT Arlington. 25.5 points. He's shooting 63. Yeah, got some nice looking shoes. 63% from the field, 55% from three. But it got honor roll mention.
Yeah.
In the A-10.
So 25.5. That's what 25.5 gets you.
Yeah. Honor roll mention.
That's some weak sauce right there. But he's right now, he's part of a VCU team that's shooting 2 of 11 to start, 1 of 5 for Phil. One thing you know about these guys, they're not going to stop shooting the three.
No, they're not.
It's part of what they do and part of the DNA. I had you. Sean, I was going to step in.
I had the hands up in the air.
I would have drawn a charge.
You would have. I appreciate that, Coach.
Yeah,
I appreciate that.
I got you.
Taking one for the team there.
I'm a giver.
Holiday season has passed, but Coach is giving nonetheless. Good play there by Fats to force Fordham to reset here as we're coming up on the 7-minute mark of this first half. VCU coming off that win, 1-1 in the A-10. Fordham has dropped 2 straight to start conference play. Here's Rivera in the lane and goes window over Bell for the basket.
Called bank. You know, one of the things that comes out when you're watching a game with nobody in the building is the communication defensively. Good teams talk all the time on defense. And you're hearing it from both these clubs right now. Both well-coached, well-schooled.
Almost a steal there by Medor. He's one of the conference's best in steals. Fats Billups in and out on the three. And Dean the rebound. Fordham back in front by 1. Johnson off on the three, and Furman clears.
Oh, that is a guy with no conscience out there taking that shot. That was quick in the possession.
Shoga catch and shoot for 3. And Johnson the rebound. His 5th so far in his first half. He only averages about 3 a game. And Rivera strong to the 10. Tambila misses the follow-up.
Two puppies.
And here's Bell down low, and he'll score with the left hand.
A big man who runs the floor like that should be rewarded. Max making the right choice.
Here is Medor challenging Furman and had it blocked. Fordham gets another chance as they're down by 1 as we're coming up on 5 minutes to go in the first half. Johnson comes off the screen, the little floater. Back tapped out of bounds, and it'll stay with Fordham.
Well, that's a tough situation. You force a difficult shot like that. If you're VCU, you really need to come down with that board. Instead, a fresh 20 on the clock for Fordham. And generally, when you allow a team a prolonged possession like this, you pay the price for it.
First time tonight we've seen Terrence Hill on the floor.
I think Rhino looking for that right guy.
Yeah.
You know, somebody to give him a little juice off that bench.
And you mentioned about Fats Billups. Hill is in that same predicament as Fats. Seeing his minutes go down a little bit, trying to find out how he can provide a spark when given the opportunity. Here's Medor. And there's Hill with the rebound. And a travel called on Joe.
Yep. Easy call right there.
9 first-half turnovers for VCU.
So many of them just like that, unforced errors. We saw it start when Zeb Jackson had that ball above his head in the corner up right in front of the Fordham bench, and it sort of cascaded from that point.
Fordham with 6.
And Fordham is usually the team that struggles on the turnover front.
And there's a turnover on Fordham. And Phil Russell calls it. It went right off of the chest of Zach Riley.
Stirring it up already. You think you sat on that bench. A lot of times you go to that bench, you find a little religion over there, right? You know, you're watching, you kind of stewing over what you did wrong, and you're watching what other guys are doing out there.
Bamison might be doing the same thing, trying to attack the basket. And they leave Hill wide open for 3. And the rebound to Medore.
It's a good shot, though. Good penetration, and he was wide open for that 3.
Dean misfires on the 3. Vacuumed in by Medore. Riley in the corner. Misses on another 3. A lot of misses here in this first half from downtown. They're collectively, both teams are 4 of 23 from 3. Inside 4 minutes. Bamison is going to attack the glass. Comes up short.
You want that contact. You avoided contact. Get yourself to the foul line. Right now, points aren't coming easy. And when they're not coming easy, the foul line's a great place to rectify that.
Fordham has missed their last 8 shots from the field. VCU has 1 for their last 7. Here is Medore maneuvering inside and blocked by Furman out of bounds. It'll stay with Furman with 9 to shoot. And a timeout on the floor with 3 1/4 left in the first half. And VCU leads 19-18 on Madison and on ESPN+. 3:25 left in the first half, and VCU has a 1-point lead over Fordham in an eerie Siegel Center. Normally this would be close to full capacity or a sellout.
Yep.
But due to the severe water shortage in the Richmond area, no spectators were allowed inside the Siegel Center, just us. And hope you're with us on Madison and on ESPN+ enjoying this A-10 matchup.
I don't know anybody's enjoying this, what we're seeing right here.
Well, just to get to watch.
Neither team is playing great, yeah. But how about this? How about it was 8-1 on the boards for VCU early. Now it's 20-17. My public school math tells me that's 16-12, right?
That's
advantage Fordham since about the 14-minute mark of this first half.
They're showing that energy that Coach Ergo was asking for in this game, and the teardropper falls by Medore as he got the friendly roll, averaging just over 10 points a game, and Fordham's back in front, 20-19. That's the 7th lead change of this first half. Hill for 3. Line drive shot comes up short. Medore looking to run. Nice pass inside to Matt Zona.
And you called it on Hill, too. He's got to make the most of his minutes, and that's a defensive gaffe right there. And you're going to get subbed in for it the next whistle.
Fordham is ahead by 3. Largest lead of the first half for Fordham, and Hill will get a chance at a 3-point play.
That is such an intelligent play for a young guy. Again, talked about the difference between what Joe Bamisiel had done a couple of possessions before, Sean, where he avoided contact. Hill goes in there, and he knows that at the very minimum he's going to get himself to the foul line here. If he happens to hit the bucket, and a 3-point play the hard way, the old-fashioned way, that'll lift the team up.
Terrence Hill, young man, we mentioned the minutes have gone down since the early part of the season, only averaging about 8 minutes a night. Connects on the 3-point play to continue his success from the stripe this season. He's now 11 for 11 from the stripe.
Well, and that's a good comeback for him. You know, he missed a couple of open threes, and he gave up a layup on the defensive end, but that's a big 3-point play for his team when they're hurting for points.
4th tie of the first half, along with 8 lead changes. Russell is making Medore work across half court. Every time he gets the ball, he's making him work.
He doesn't cheat you for defense.
Here's Rivera. And Jackson climbs the ladder for the rebound. Up ahead to Shoga. A head fake, and then a three. Kept alive by Bamasiel. A fresh 20 for VCU.
Almost too much passing for VCU. Not enough guys trying to take it to the rim here.
Zeb with the fadeaway.
Wow.
That was pretty by Zeb Jackson. Riley was making it work, and then we got a foul in the backcourt.
I think
Phil Russell.
Russell, yeah, and that was way off the ball. Shoga had deflected that inbounds pass. Here's a look at that step back. Man, look at that separation. Jackson creates.
Pretty, yeah.
Indefensible with that level of athleticism.
And Jackson is working his way back physically. He's missed 5 games this year due to a couple of injuries. Still has that left hand, that left thumb wrapped after suffering a broken hand right before the regular season opener. And Zeb is called for the foul, his first.
This is the first instance of bonus for either team. We played almost 19 minutes.
Yeah, but 1-1 for Fordham. This will be their 5th attempt at the line as Fats will come in and replace Zeb.
Zeb with 2 fouls, so he'll likely sit the rest of this half.
Fordham on the year, 9th in shooting from the line. In fact, both teams are shooting 71%, so tied for 9th are Fordham and VCU. And Medor hits that first one, 83% from the line. That's 10th best in the A-10.
You know, sometimes it's about getting the right guys to the line at the right time.
Very deliberate at the stripe, missed that second one.
I never had a chance. Way too flat.
Under 90 seconds to go. Nice touch pass to Furman, and he lost it. Fordham with a chance to retake the lead. Here's Medor. Furman clears. Shoga going right up against Zona. They're going to say the foul happened on the floor.
Next level, that's continuation.
No question.
Not going to be continuation here. 1-1 for Shoga now.
That's two fouls on Zona. As you mentioned, Chris, 17 fouls on Fordham, and Coach Ergo is getting his money's worth to the officials on the sideline.
He is animated over there.
He is.
He's doing the full act.
And he's directing that to Orlando's Poole. Shoga missed the front end of a 1-and-1. And you base it on what he did at the line last year. Shoga's struggling. He's under now 70% from the line.
I just think he's shooting too quick up there. You know, you get 10 seconds. You're breathing heavily because you've been playing this entire first half. Breathing heavily. You got 10 seconds to shoot it.
Medor for 3, and that was short. The rebound to Russell. They have a chance to go 2 for 1 if they want it, but they'll probably shoot it anyway for Bamasiel. And Medor the rebound.
Really good box outs there from Fordham. Shot clock and game clock are pretty much on the same number.
And Coach Ergo will use his 30-second timeout before he loses it with 25.9 seconds to go. Yeah, less than the 2-second differential between big clock and shot clock.
If you're Keith Ergo, you want to make sure that you do not give VCU an opportunity here. You're taking a shot. You obviously want the best shot that you can muster here, but you're not going to take it unless it's inside 5 or 6 seconds, I would think.
And if you're Coach Ergo, you got to like your situation where you are right now.
Oh, yeah. They came in here. They took a punch in the first 4 minutes. And they have come back strong. They've competed. They've defended. I think they've done a really good job on the defensive end. And they found a kind of a willing participant here in VCU, to be quite honest with you. I think Ryan Odom would be the first guy to tell you. We haven't played well at all in this first half, yet somehow VCU finds himself with a 1-point lead.
And a little surprising given what they did last Saturday. They went to Loyola Chicago, co-champs in the regular season a year ago. Beat them 84-65, scored nearly 50 points in the second half, outscored the Ramblers by 22 points to get that win. And right now, 24 first half points for VCU, yet ahead by 1, but Fordham with a chance to take the last shot.
Yeah, this is Johnson with the ball up top. He's running the old number 1 play. You know, everybody else along the baseline. You may get a high screen here at about the 10-second mark. Well, otherwise, he's playing one-on-one against Max Schulger. Here goes a double. Good screen, good D on the ball.
Good play by Schulger to force a shot clock violation.
And Ryan Odom has a timeout, too. Yeah,
he will use
take
his,
it.
absolutely. He's directed it.
Every coach has a play or two, and Ryan Odom probably has more than that. The home run play. He's a creative offensive mind. This is the most fun that you do in practice. You set up situations where we're down 1, we're down 2, we've got 2.5 seconds to play, we got to go full court. Here's what we're going to do. He likely is diagramming something these guys have seen half a dozen times in practice.
Absolutely. And go back to that Schulger defense. He caused the deflection off of Johnson's knee, but it was a shot clock violation anyway, so it was a turnover no matter what. But good man-to-man defense by Schulger against the best scorer in the A-10 at this point, Johnson.
Well, Johnson hasn't been the guy that has hurt VCU. The guys who have hurt VCU are all wearing white in this game, right? I mean, they've been their own worst enemies. Now, Fordham's going to set up with some token three-quarter court pressure. Man-to-man here, it looks like they're matching up, but you can get the ball to, say, Max Schulger coming from underneath the basket right to the middle of the court here.
Phil Russell will do the inbound. Tipped it to Fast Billups for 3. Oh, that was a great look.
What a play.
You mentioned it. Great design play, and it almost resulted in 3, and that's how the first half will end. As we watch that play again, the tap by Schulger right to Billups in rhythm.
That is a clean look.
Man, that close to making it a 4-point lead, but instead it's a VCU 1-point advantage at the break, 24-23, as TJ will have our halftime activities from the Stew after this on Masson and on ESPN+. In the second half here at the Siegel Center with VCU holding on to a 1-point lead, 24-23. Jack Clark exchanging pleasantries to us here courtside. One of just a few friends here this evening.
Jack had a long time to sit on that VCU bench. He had 2 fouls. Really watched most of the last 10 minutes of that half. Did a good job on the backboards before he went out.
Starting 5 for both teams on the floor. How big would these first 4 minutes be, Chris, for both teams?
Well, it's huge, and you want to establish something if you're VCU. And there's Jack Clark back to work on the backboards. He was excellent in that first half.
That is his 5th rebound of the game, and that's his first basket.
Well, limited amount of minutes for Jack, as I said, because of those fouls. Clark only averaging 7 per game. Just feels like he's a bigger part of VCU's game plan than the 7 points would indicate.
Had a double-double against Loyola Chicago Saturday. Inside was Dean, and he missed, and Clark got another rebound. 6 boards so far for Jack, who came in 10th in the A-10 in rebounds a night.
Dean has to be really frustrated by that miss right there. That's a puppy. He won't get many easier looks against the VCU defense. He's going to get rewarded with a little pine time over there right now from Keith Ergo.
Clark has had double-doubles in 2 of the last 3 games and 7 in his career. That started at LaSalle, then went to NC State, and then Clemson was a part of their Elite 8 team last season. Going with the lob to Bamboye inside, and goes off the glass and scores.
You know, it seems like a little thing. Ball stepped out of bounds here right in front of us.
Another turnover.
Luke Bamboye in the first half, he had 3 turnovers, in large part because he just struggles to catch the ball in traffic. And it seems like, you know, it should be so simple, but big guys often lack that singular ability. Right there, he made a tough catch in traffic, and a good finish in traffic as well. Sometimes you see guys grow before your eyes.
And he's certainly doing that. Got his 5th start of the year, getting another touch inside. And VCU will set it up with 4 to shoot as Bamasiel draws a 3-shot foul on Medor.
Yeah, and this is worst case scenario if you're Keith Ergo. You know, you're coming out here, you're not putting points on the board on your end, and you're watching VCU explode out here. 2 easy layups to start, and then a 3-point opportunity here for Bamasiel.
And that was with 3 on the shot clock. And you hear Coach Ergo. May have heard Coach Ergo saying it's ridiculous. As Bamasiel was working on the free throws during warm-ups to begin this half. Just 66% from the line this year.
I get asked a lot, what do coaches say when they're talking to officials at midcourt like that? Well, you may be able to hear it tonight, actually.
Especially from Coach Ergo.
Yeah, he is, again, he is up, animated, and into it.
Odom is very low-key on the sidelines.
Ryan Odom's got a little zen going on over there.
2 or 3 made by Bamasiel. Odom doesn't get animated a lot, but when he does,
oh yeah, you can see it.
Know.
Yeah.
VCU has started this half on a 6-0 run to go up 7, matching their largest lead. A steal by Russell, up ahead to Clark, and he'll get it to go. And a quick timeout by Coach Ergo, and it's now an 8-0 run to begin the half, and it's VCU's largest lead at 9 as we take a timeout here on Masson and on ESPN+. VCU with their largest lead of the game at 9, 32-23, and defense has set the tone, Chris, in this second half on an 8-0 run.
This is Phil Russell coming from behind with a pilfer right here, and Jack Clark gets out on the break like a guy who smells free points, and he got some free points. Actually got a little bump there as well, but Clark being on the floor, you know, one of the stats that they keep on the every NCAA stat box is your plus minus. And I've always thought that was really important to see, you know, how your team is benefiting or not when you're on the court. Jack Clark right now is a plus 17 when he's on the court for VCU, which means VCU's outscored Fordham by that number, 17, while when Clark is on the floor. His availability is critical.
Hampered with 2 fouls in that first half, so didn't see a lot of time, but in this second half, he's got half of VCU's points. He scored 4 of the 8. And inside, a tough right-handed hook by Jameer Tripp, his first 2.
That is earned right there. Bodied up by Bamasiel. He still got it to go down.
7-point lead for VCU. They've made their last 3 field goals. Inside is Bamboye. A good fake, and he hits the floor, but draws a foul.
I love that look. Double screen. It's a staggered double screen. Bamboye sits one screen for Shulga, another one for Russell. His man lost him when he set that second screen. Luke just rolled to the basket, and Shulga found him.
They got Tripp with the foul, his second. And Luke Bamboye, the freshman from out of London, England. I was going to say London, Virginia. Where did that come from? London, Virginia. Missed the first one. I'm glad I didn't mention the numbers after messing up where he lives. Just this eeriness has just messed you all up.
Yeah, it's an odd situation for sure. Empty gym.
Yes, missed both. But it's back tap to Russell and a reset. London, Virginia is just outside of Richmond. Here's Shulga inside for the finish.
Wow, the defense that Fordham played in the first half has not shown up. Did not come out of the locker room at the break.
Unaccounted for, Shulga with 9. Here's Medor for 3, and he knocks it down. His second from 3, now has 11. Back quickly as VCU.
The ball moves in and out.
There's another foul on Tripp.
Just threw Bamboye to the floor.
His third.
Ball moving corner to corner. Shulga with an up fake. Nobody rotates over, gets in front of Max. He won't find an easier two in a game.
And Ergo was probably shaking his head in disgust. Because he's a defensive coach, and not to get the rotation as you talked about is.
And they did such a great job in that first half, Sean, of being in the right place at the right time defensively.
Coach Ergo was saying we were giving up way too many high 70 games as they get on the floor and not possession and forces a turnover. Timbila inside. Goes with the jump hook. Volleyballed around.
Good
right
battle.
to Bamboye. Here's Russell with the crossover, challenging Dean out of bounds. It'll stay with VCU.
I'm not sure that's a great choice by Russell. Sort of a 1-on-4 break. Did not have the numbers at all. But there's no back down. There's no fadeaway in Philip Russell's game. If nothing else, he's going to take it to your chin.
Quick inbound to Bamasil, grazing the front of the rim. And they're going to get a foul on Furman.
Yep.
VCU thought that was going to be a travel, but the foul was first on Furman that caused the travel.
And you're right. That would have been VCU's basketball had the whistle not been made.
Sugar would take a breather right now and replaced by Zeb Jackson.
I wonder if Ryan Odom doesn't shorten the bench just a little bit here in the second half. He had both Jackson and Clark had foul issues in that first half.
Here's Johnson inside. Timbila an offensive rebound, challenging Furman. That doesn't go. Bamasil the rebound. And inside, Bamasil.
That's 94 feet of Joe Bamasil right there. Coast to coast, end to end.
6 in the game for Joe, and the lead is at 8. Odom played 12 guys in the first half.
Part of that was out of necessity. Part of it was just pressing buttons, right? Trying to find the right combination, the right guy.
Here's Medora off of the screen, and they're going to get a foul on Fordham. That's going to be Dean, his second.
And Clark in the right place at the right time, doing such a great job on the backboards, forces that call.
Timeout on the floor with 15:38 to go in the game. And VCU has an 8-point lead over Fordham here on Masson and on ESPN+. VCU leading 36-28 over Fordham here at the Siegel Center. Yes, an empty Siegel Center as we are dealing with a water shortage here in Richmond. So no spectators here tonight. We're going to cross our fingers and hope the next home game against St. Louis, they are able to be back. Huge game against the Billikens next Tuesday night, which will be the VCU's next game. We were talking during the break, looking at the AP poll. We should have a new number one, depending on what Auburn does this weekend after Tennessee was handled convincingly.
Handled and hammered.
Yes.
And Auburn, on the other hand, goes to Austin and beats a pretty good Texas team. Very good game. Got off to a huge start. Whoa, little zone look. I like it. Ergo, again, pressing buttons like a lot of coaches will do. He didn't like the way the direction this game was going in.
First time tonight we've seen the zone by Fordham.
He also catches him without Shulga on the floor.
Jackson for 3. Clark, an offensive rebound, did not hit the rim. Shot clock violation.
You know, and that's inexcusable, Sean, because look at the experience. Look at the depth of experience you have on the floor for VCU. A great rebound by Clark to kick it out. I think Russell's got to pull the trigger on that kick. He is wide open from 3.
He may have thought it hit that right side of the rim. Good play by Bamasil to knock it out, as it will stay with Fordham. But you mentioned there's 4 grad students on the floor for VCU. Bamasil, Jackson, Russell, and Clark. And Furman's a junior in the classroom.
VCU starts the second half 5 of 9 from the field, 2 of 7 for Fordham. VCU's also done a great job on the backboards here.
They're plus 12 on the glass and have held Fordham without a point in over 2 minutes. Zona changes that as he hits one from distance.
Well, I can promise you that Zona is on that scouting report, Ryan Odom's scouting report. He's a capable three-point shooter.
33% on the season, just his 10th made three this year. And Coach Ergo was saying, we got to give Zona more chances from behind the arc. Here's Jackson inside, partially blocked, out of bounds. It'll go back to VCU.
That is a tough break for Fordham. They thought they had a stop and were off to the races. Ball.
Jeff Clark is saying that they controlled it, and that meant a change of possession and a reset to 20 on the clock for VCU.
Ball right off of Rivera's foot. Without any crowd in here, you get the whole act over there from Keith Ergo.
That again. I'm gonna have to agree with Ergo on that. I don't think he ever had control.
100%.
Here's Bamasil with the right hand. It drops in, plus the foul.
Yeah, with those long arms, he is a problem when he attacks you. You got to cover that. Small guards just have no prayer.
It nestled on the heel for about a half second before dropping in for Bamasil's 8th point of the night. Tied for the team high in points per night. And misses another free throw from the line.
Yeah, he, much like Max Shulga, they should be better free throw shooters than they are.
Here's Mador inside. Fordham wanted a goaltend, won't get it as Bamasil picks up his second. Yeah, Bamasil is around 66%, and Shulga dipped below 70 with his miss tonight. Those are two guys.
And the other thing is, Sean, these guys are two born scorers. Most scorers understand that they're called free throws for a reason. You know, those are easy points, and they will capitalize when given the chance.
Mador gets the bounce on that first one. He's an 83% shooter on the year. 4 or 5 from the line tonight. And man, he's a transfer from UTSA.
Welcome to
Texas San Antonio.
Welcome to D1. Everybody's a transfer. Everybody's from somewhere.
He's a grad student from Wellington, Florida. Made honorable mention All-Conference USA last season. Jackson trying to split that zone. Jackson gets it back from Clark. Gets his own miss and is tied up with Zona, and Fordham regains possession on the arrow.
You know, right now they're settling for a lot of threes against that zone. The Bamasil drive to the basket was a model of really what you should be doing out here. You don't want to play pass and catch. And honestly, Sean, when you think about it, the move to a zone was sort of a tacit a move by Keith Ergo to say we can't cover them. We're struggling to cover them right now. It's an admission is what it is.
But they've gotten back in the game with that zone.
Well, he's a good coach, pressing the right buttons.
Bamasil forces that turnover. Bamasil waits for help. Deflected by Riley. Riley with open space, and he'll lay it in.
And again, the turnover bug comes back to haunt VCU.
And don't look now, but Fordham only trails by 3.
They've steadied themselves. The zone has really helped them.
VCU started this half on an 8-0 run. Since that time, Fordham has outscored VCU 12-6. Bamasil connects from distance.
Joe's out there hunting shots. A lot of shooters love to see that zone defense being played.
Inside the zone, a nice pass by Mador. And back comes Fordham as they're down by 4.
It's a resilient group.
They've come in dropping their last 2. They're 0-2 in conference after back-to-back home losses to St. Louis and St. Bonaventure, and Bamasiel has hit 2 in a row from behind the arc.
Keith Urgo's telling his guys, you got to find Joe Bamasiel.
Zona from distance.
Both teams opening up here in the second half.
Now the offense is flowing.
Here we go.
It's a 4-point VCU lead, 44-40. Still in the 3-2 zone. Jackson left open for 3. Clark tips it. And another 20 for VCU. Shorga with the scoop. Furman's tip in is good.
Great effort. Great effort by Furman. He just bullied Riley down there. Riley tried to keep him out of the paint, off the rim.
Furman's first field goal of the night. And now they get a foul on Max Shulga. His first, and that brings us to a timeout with 11:17 to go. The offense is now heating up on this cold Wednesday night here in Richmond. 46-40, VCU with the lead here on Masson and on ESPN+. VCU with a 6-point lead over Fordham, 46-40 with 11:17 in the second half. And now our VCU Virginia Credit Union assists of the game.
Ball moves from side to side, one wing to the opposite corner. And Joe Bamasiel, he was caught it ready to shoot. Got the impression watching him on that possession that he was going to get his shot, and he sure did. Followed it up on the other side after that
with another 3.
Back-to-backers.
That's the Virginia Credit Union assists benefiting the Children's Hospital of Richmond at VCU. And yeah, the offense began to pick up in the last couple of minutes for both teams as VCU leads by 6, but Fordham has possession, trying to cut down that lead. Mador has the mismatch on Bamboye. Goes with the backdoor cut to Tripp, who rocks the rim.
Well, he got up there quick for a big fella. I think he surprised Clark.
Jameer Tripp, an emphatic 4th point scored. And Fordham Rams are within 4.
Back to man for Fordham. It might be just for a possession or two. They played the zone pretty well.
The lob to Bamboye with the finish.
And again, Bamasiel really playing well here in the second half. That's his assist. That's his dime. Put it right where Bamboye is going to hammer that thing.
Bamboye with 8 so far, and Johnson's shot was blocked. Bamboye was in the vicinity to get that block. Russell trying to draw a foul on Tripp. Goes to the basket, no. Bamboye an offensive rebound and a slam.
Quick hops. Man, he gets up in a hurry.
A new career high for Luke Bamboye, now in double figures with 10.
It's a fresh group out there for VCU, and they're playing with a little pep in the step. High energy.
Here's Johnson. Zona had it blocked by Bamboye. Zona gets it back, stripped out of bounds, but they're going to call Bamboye with the foul.
Stunningly, they're going to give him a shot, give him 2 shots here as if he was going to the rim. I think he had planted himself. The big fella had, Zona had, but listen, quick play by Bamboye. Man, does he get up fast. Great elevation. Wait till he puts on 15 pounds. You know, as special as he is right now, he could be a dominant player in the A-10.
Keeps getting better every game.
Well, this guy, Zona, has really helped the Fordham cause. Been solid. He's hit shots.
He has 13 now off the bench.
Yeah, and the offense runs well with him. He's can be a little bit of a liability on defense, but great chemistry with him out there on the floor.
Played 4 years at Notre Dame. Started the first 5 games of this season, but has come off the bench for the last 11, counting tonight. And he is close to surpassing a new career high. That's his 14th point. He scored 15 against Albany earlier this year. Here's Jackson inside and get the layup to go.
And he got Riley on his back, beat him down the court. Again, coast-to-coast run for a VCU player.
Very difficult inbound, but picked up by Mador. Fast Billups comes up with the steal. Jackson waits for help. Billups for three, rewarding him for the great defensive play.
Took the word right out of my mouth. Reward is the right word. Great effort by Fats.
It's an 11-point lead, largest VCU lead of the night, and Phil Russell got called for the foul.
Russell trying to feed off that energy created by the Billups three. A little eager there defensively. But Fats, when he gets it going, Fats Billups can be an electric offensive player.
And does have the ability to stretch the floor like he just did.
He does.
55-44, and Zeb almost got another one. But this time it's called for the foul. His third. And that's the 7th team foul on VCU, so now a 1-and-1 for Fordham. And you talked about it, Chris, in the first half. Fordham not a really good free throw shooting team. They're right around 9-10 in the A-10, which that's the team 6. I thought it was the 7th. So that is the last foul to get for VCU. The double on Timbila.
Good double here.
And Timbila throws it in the backcourt, and it rolls out of bounds.
See that one coming, couldn't you, Sean? And he was struggling, and also this Fordham group out here, these guys have logged a lot of minutes. There wasn't a whole lot of activity down there to be a receiver for him, to be active and to get open.
And you had Billups and Bamboye throwing that trap on Timbila. He's got size at 6'9", but you had 6'10" and 6'7" trapping him on the baseline. Very difficult to navigate out of that. Jackson fades away over Timbila. Tip no good by Shoga. Shoga gets another chance for VCU.
He is so strong as a guard.
In the top 20 in rebounding in the conference is Max this year. Under 10 to shoot for VCU. Shoga draws the foul on Mador.
That's a veteran guy taking young guys to school. Now they're going to look at this. Looks like the officials want to look at a...
They're going to look to see whether or not Max was behind the line. Was that a 3-shot or will that be a 2-shot foul?
I think they might be looking to see if actually, also if he kicked his leg out and created that.
It's going to be a media timeout. And we'll check it all out when we take a pause. With 8:02 to go here in regulation, VCU leads 55-44 here on Masson and on ESPN+. Back here at the Siegel Center with 8:02 to go here in regulation. VCU has built their lead now to 11 over Fordham, and during the break, one of the officials hollered across court to let us know that in fact it was a 3-shot foul that Max Shoga will have at the line. And you take a look, Chris, at the differential in field goal percentage from first half to second half for VCU.
Well, there are a couple of things that add into this. First of all, VCU's been much more crisp in the second half. They also stopped turning the ball over. You know, they're catching it cleanly. They're finishing plays around the basket. Sometimes it's simply a matter of a clean catch and a layup on a score. VCU's played far better in the second half, and Fordham has hit a little bit of a wall, it seems. I commented to you, Sean, earlier today that VCU in the second half games, I don't know if it's a conditioning thing or not, but they just look so fresh in the second half of games. And it doesn't make a whole lot of sense because there's not a real long bench that they play. It's not like they're shuttling players in and out. You get an iron 6 or 7 guys in the second half.
In their home games this year, they're perfect 7-0 here at the Siegel Center. They have outscored their opponents in the second half at home by 77 points. It's an average of 11 points per game. They've outscored their opponents in the second half as Shoga looked pretty pure at the line as he made all 3. They've had a couple of 50-point second halves this year at home.
Oh, I mean, they're capable of it exploding.
And they're on pace to get 50 in this half. Johnson struggling so far in the game with 5. Had it blocked again. Bamboye comes through. Up ahead to Russell. Misses the layup.
2-on-1, you got to give that up.
Fordham catches a break. Here's Tripp.
Oh, that's a big man.
Doesn't get the roll. And a break for VCU as Shoga comes up with the board. Here's Billups. Nice move to create space and gets it to drop.
That's not fair. He's got the big foul on him. Put him in the spin cycle.
You hit that circle button. It's a 10-0 run for VCU to build a 16-point lead. They have 36 points in the second half.
And it's been all of them, really.
Johnson.
That's a tough shot. Johnson.
Maybe that gets him going. His second three-pointer of the game. He's got 8.
Well, the big guards for VCU have been a problem for him on the defensive side of things. He's got to have to shoot over some pretty tall players.
Here's Jackson in the lane. Doesn't go. Back tap by Shoga. Russell misses on the 3. And we've got a foul. It's going to be on Jackson.
And this is an opportunity for Dean to go to the line and for Fordham to cut into the lead or attempt to cut into the lead. But with the clock stopped.
That's 4 on Zeb. And he's going to take a breather, and Joe Bamasil comes in. The luxury of that deep bench, you can get a guy who leads your team in scoring to take a breather and comes in to fill the role for Zeb, who's got to sit with 4 fouls.
And even with that, you've seen Ryan Odom shorten that bench here in the second half. No run for a guy like Brandon Jennings or Bell or or Hill, any of those guys really didn't get any burn here at all in the second half. And with that, you know, when you do that, you shorten the bench, you increase your continuity. These guys play together for longer stretches of time.
And you had mentioned that he was trying to, I guess, figure that out in the first half. He played 12 guys in the first half, trying to find which 5 can work together cohesively. He felt that there was a certain group in this half that worked well, and they had used that a lot as Clark just came off the bench and will come in on that next opportunity. He leads all players with 9 rebounds tonight. And a break for VCU as Tripp missed that front end of a 1-and-1. Inside 6 minutes and VCU leading by 13. Shoga doesn't get the foul, and he got the roll for 2.
Took a victory lap. That is a tough shot, and they were going to give him that foul. Max created all that contact.
Max scored just 9 in the win against Loyola, now with 14. Another double-digit game in his career. Medor hits from straight away. And it's turnover, and Medor on the floor calls a timeout to save possession.
Boy, that's a tough call for VCU right there. And a bit of a gift, but that's good hustle by Medor. I mean, he got that ball off of Russell and then went and dove on it just as it was going out of bounds. See Max creating contact on that shot.
They did take a victory lap around Richmond Raceway for that.
Sure did.
And then Medor, clean look from distance.
And he followed it up with a steal here. He got all over Russell on the inbound. Ball's going out of bounds. He dives on it. And he did call timeout. Yeah. Good on you. That's a good effort.
Medor rustled Russell on that play.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. The question was, didn't look like he had a whole lot of possession there, but referee was right on the call.
Jeff Clark was right there to grant Medor the timeout. He leads all scorers with 16 in the game. Bamasil and Shoga each with 14 so far to lead the VCU Rams.
Long night for Jackie Johnson thus far.
Yeah, 3 of 12 shooting, 8 points. And Phil Russell, we talking about that. He struggled from the field, just 1 of 10 from the field in 3 points. This after averaging 25.5 his last 2 games. Here's Medor inside. He draws contact and a chance at a 3-point play.
That's the same look at continuation that we saw earlier, that Max Schulga did not get. Ryan Odom giving the hands up like you have to explain that to me.
Let's see it.
Yeah, that foul is way out in front. He took an extra step after that foul. You never get that call in college hoops. Well, not never, because we just saw it,
I was
right?
going to say, never say never now.
Exactly.
Mador with 18 and now making 19. He averaged just over 10 a night before this one, and he is close. He has surpassed his, close to passing his season high for Fordham. His career high, he's got to go back when he was at Texas San Antonio, dropped 40 in one game.
That's a lot of points, man.
Russell from deep. Follow-up is good by Bamasil.
Such a good nose for the ball in the offensive backboards.
Bamasil now with 16. Medora waiting for help as we're inside money time, under 5 to go. Medora guarded by Schulga. Shot clock under 10. Zona in deep, and he lost it. And they're going to say Fordham retains it with 5 to shoot.
Yeah, I think that's off Clark's foot. Ball was batted down. I think that's the right call. But you have to realize 5 seconds to play. And you're down 11 with 4:26. This can't be empty. You got to at least give yourself a chance here with a shot attempt.
Now they're going to bring in Zeb Jackson, who has 4 fouls, to replace Phil Russell.
Can't worry about that with 4 minutes to play here.
There's a lot of size on this lineup.
Yes, there is.
VCU.
And they just hand out, they pass guys back and forth to each other. Great play.
The miss by Rivera and a 10th rebound for Jack Clark.
It's a gorgeous out-of-bounds set by Keith Ergo and Fordham.
Got a couple of those tonight.
I think they got just what they wanted on that. No reward whatsoever.
Bamasil changes his mind. Here's Schulga down low and blocked out of bounds by Rivera.
Max Schulga demonstrative, and he's, normally he just plays, but he's a little frustrated by the whistle he's seeing right now. Schulga driving hard. Bump there.
Got him across the arm.
Absolutely, they did.
I can see why he was frustrated, and now Zona just bumped Clark. His third, and that will send Clark to the line when we come back, as we have our final media timeout. 4 to go, and VCU leads Fordham by 11 on Masson and on ESPN+. 4 minutes even left in regulation. VCU with an 11-point lead over Fordham. Sean Robertson along with Chris Naki, our entire Rams Unlimited crew. VCU trying to go 8-0 here at the Stew and 2-1 in A-10 play after splitting that road trip, losing at the buzzer basically against St. Bonaventure on New Year's Eve. Came back and won at Loyola by 19. This will be another nice win to get here at home against a gritty and feisty Fordham team.
I think gritty is the operative word, and I tell you what, that St. Bonaventure game, that was tough loss right there, because you win that game on the road, and it would have meant you open up with 2 W's in 2 difficult places to play on the road in the A-10. That would have been big for this team, but it didn't get done, didn't happen. You have to deal with the reality. You have St. Bonaventure coming in here in a few short weeks.
Clark missed that front end of a 1-and-1, and Bamasil kept it alive, and another possession for VCU. Yeah, they'll get them as part of that Friday night showcase, and an offensive foul is called on VCU.
Yeah, Bamasil trying to back his man down.
4 fouls on Bamasil, 4 on Jackson, 2 VCU players in the danger zone, with 3:50 left and a lot of time for Fordham to make a final run, to steal one here from the Siegel Center. Here's Tripp.
Looked like a walk there, but nothing called.
Clark's got the switch on Rivera. That looked like a walk on Johnson. Shot clock is under 10.
Wants to go left.
Jackson's got 4 fouls. 1 to shoot for Johnson. Tip no good. Tripp gets his own miss, and he rolls in.
Playing with urgency. Gotta love to see that. Fordham understands, you know, they have a chance. 9 points down.
A 3-possession game for VCU here as we're at the 3-minute mark. Back toward it, Jackson. Fouled by Tripp.
And now this is the time of the game too, Sean. You got everything should be going to the rim here. If you're not going to get the layup, you're going to get yourself to the free throw line. Remember in that first half, VCU got 4 free throw attempts. Not enough. You have this incredible athletic quotient, particularly in the backcourt for VCU. Well, make sure you exploit that. Get yourself to the rim.
Jackson shoots 81% from the line and got the friendly bounces. Billups will come out to be replaced by Russell. And Bamboye back in to replace Bamasiel.
Yeah, with those 4 fouls, you want to play a little offense-defense, or if you get a chance to put Joe back in, Bamasiel back in to play offense, you're going to do it.
Made both, speaking of Zeb. Back to Bamboye, 7 rebounds to go along with his 8 points and 3 blocks.
I'd take that stat line, I think, every night of the week from
especially
him.
for a freshman.
Yep. Some on-the-job training for the young fella.
Nice pass inside to Rivera and a foul on VCU.
Well, it might be on Shulga reaching in.
His second.
Clark had a clean block.
A good cut by Rivera, rewarded with 2 free throws with 2:44 left.
When you're down like this, you just want to extend this game as much as you possibly can. If you're Keith Ergo, you want to make this game last till Friday. And he's doing a good job with that. He's telling his guys, much like VCU, we're going to take everything to the rack here, make sure we get rewarded on every single trip.
At least a Thursday. They have a
they got
a trip to Davidson.
There's also a winter storm.
Yeah.
They want to beat the storm out of here.
We were joking with Fordham's SID. Seems like they're bringing that storm down here.
We're looking for somebody to blame. We found him.
Yep. Second free throw as Rivera made both. A 9-point lead. Yeah, Fordham goes from VCU to Davidson this weekend as Fordham comes with full-court pressure. And Clark will wait for help.
Yeah, they're going to run some offense here. And again, it's foul line or bust here. You want to make sure everything is rimward, unless you're right at the end of the possession and have to squeeze a 3.
Here's Russell going up against Rivera. Now the switch by Tripp, who comes up with a block.
It's more of a spike than a block.
Dean lost his footing there, but got it back. Guarded by Rivera. And here's Tripp for 3. Long rebound chased down by Tripp. Nice pass inside to Dean and scores over Bamboye.
They're playing, man. I mean, again, the sense of urgency. You have to applaud what they're doing here.
Coming up on 90 seconds left in regulation.
Fordham's back to 7 here.
Big possession for both. Tripp has the assignment on Shulga, and they're going to get Tripp with the foul. His 5th, and he's gone.
Yeah, he's played well. He is a warrior, this kid.
Tripp did a little bit of everything tonight for Coach Ergo, but he's going to leave with 5 fouls with 92 seconds left in the game.
6 points, 5 boards, but more importantly, it feels like he gives them toughness. He's in the middle of a lot of plays on both ends in this game.
The toughness is a part of Coach Ergo's identity at Fordham, wanting to be one of the nastiest and toughest teams in the A-10. And he said this stretch, they have not shown that. They've given up at least 83 points in 4 straight games in 6 of their last 8.
That's got to rankle him. He played at Gonzaga High School in D.C. for the great Dick Myers, one of the great high school coaches in D.C. history. Dick Myers, one of the rare guys, I believe, had a winning record against Morgan Wooten and DeMatha. That's how good Dick Myers was.
That's a very short list of coaches that can say that. As Shoga hit on the first free throw, we looked at that stat as far as rebounds were concerned for VCU. 48-31. They've controlled the glass, with Clark leading the way with 10.
He done some serious damage on the offensive backboards as well.
23-11 on the offensive glass. Bamboye with 7 rebounds, Shoga and Furman with 6. Bambasil also having 7. It's a 9-point lead, 3-possession game for VCU. Riley left open for 3. And knocked off of Bamasil's shin. It'll stay with Fordham.
That's really good hustle over there. And looked like Bamasil had a chance to secure that. Couldn't do it. And I could credit Max Shulga. He just really flew at Riley on that last 3-point attempt. Made it very difficult. Looked like Riley was going to have plenty of space, but Shulga closed quickly.
They reset the clock to 20 for Fordham, trailing by 9. Johnson with only 8 points so far tonight for Fordham. Rivera down low, gets the bounce. He tried to get some contact, trying to get a 3-point play, but Rivera now with 8, and that's a 7-point lead for VCU with 62 seconds left.
Well, you might as well burn every timeout you've got. You know, you've got a chance here. You put yourself in position. He looked like he got fouled going up. That's a strong kid, Rivera. Oh, he gestures for the foul right afterwards.
Yeah, he gave just enough to Jeff that he wouldn't call the tech, but he thought he was hacked and didn't get the call.
Well, you know, it's funny. These guys, it seems like they complain now more than ever, and I think that's a function of watching. We all watch too much NBA, where, you know, you think it's okay to complain after every call, but I think some guys litigate calls and get themselves taken out of games. You know, it creates one more distraction in a game where you really need the ultimate focus. Requires so much of that.
All right, you got Coach Ergo in his huddle for Fordham, down by 7 with 62 seconds left. And
you don't get to steal a half court, you're fouling. You're down multiple possessions here. If VCU is allowed to go down here and burn to the 30 and then score at the end of that, this game is over. You want to make sure that this game, again, lasts for a while. See if you could foul the right guy. Shulga just buried 3 foul shots, but I think everybody else, including Joe Bamasil, who will be out there, those guys are all okay to foul.
Shulga's made his last 5. He missed his first attempt at the line, and he has made 5 straight. He's on the floor with Zeb, Bamasil, Clark, and Russell. Rivera, Riley, Mador, Johnson, and Dean, the 5 for Fordham.
Yeah, both teams into double bonus here, going the rest of the way.
They get it to Russell quickly from Shoga. Here's Bamasil with the slam. That was well designed and well executed by VCU.
They're going to take it through pressure. If they're going to pressure, make them pay for it.
Here's Johnson, and that's a forced turnover by Zeb Jackson.
Going to pull this out. There you go.
Clark immediately heard you and draws the foul on Rivera. But back to that last inbounds by VCU to break the press.
Well, Philip Russell, good job. Ball was not in his hands very long. He found the open guy on the other end. Bamasil's played a really good second half.
Bamasil leading VCU with 18 tonight. Phil Russell, 5 assists. Not scoring, but he's doing everything else.
Well, he's also defending out there. He's part of the group that's done a really good job out there on the perimeter and done a very good job on Jackie Johnson. Johnson going to that Fordham bench. He's had better nights and he'll have better nights. It's funny, he comes from UNLV, and Ryan Odom and his group have seen a lot of the Mountain West teams this year.
Yeah.
Proof that you could take Ryan out of the Mountain West, but you can't take the Mountain West out of Ryan, I suppose.
Russell had clean access, but decided to pull it out, get another foul on Fordham, and a couple of trips at the line. Zach Raleigh picked up his first.
This might be one of those games where the final score is a little deceptive. I think Fordham came in here ready for the fight.
No question.
And they're coming off of two really, bad, difficult losses at home. Games got away from them. They didn't score points easily at all.
And this stretch is not easy
No.
for Fordham. After tonight, they go to Davidson Saturday. They host UMass. And then they get Loyola Chicago on the road, home to Duquesne, at LaSalle, and at St. Bonaventure. One more for Russell. He hits on both. 1 of 12 shooting for Phil, but yet has 5 assists, 3 rebounds.
He's kept his head in the game, right?
He has, and has been very disruptive on the defensive end.
He's disruptive any way you look at it.
But a different kind of disruption
There are a lot of subplots going on with Phil Russell on the floor. Some zone defense here from VCU. They try and force somebody to hoist one.
12-point VCU lead. We're inside a half minute. Riley hoists up the 3. The rebound to Clark. His 11th of the night. VCU doesn't have to shoot. They'll get it across half court. Russell said he wanted to score, but he won't. He'll dribble it out. And VCU will go to 8-0 at home this season and improve to 12-4 on the year and 2-1 in A-10 play as they defeat Fordham 73-61. They're now 15-1 against Fordham in the series history. And we'll come back to wrap it up here from the Siegel Center after this on Masson and on ESPN+.